What's up, guys? So we are back again this week, and it's your favorite queer channel, Ghana Queer Hub. If you know you've not subscribed and today is your first time watching us, please don't forget to subscribe and then click on the notification bell, like, and then share your views. Today, I am so excited about today's session that I don't know even how to express my happiness, because I'm going to interact with one bougie activist, dope, classy, crazy, and die-hard activist, like everything some. And you know what? Her name is such a 10 on it. Gigi Gaga Gogo. Yo. I don't want to talk much. I would want her to introduce herself and then we can move on.
Hello, lovely viewers, and thank you for having me on your show. My name is Sarah Fletcher, but you can call me Gigi Gaga Gogo. The 3G, GGG 2020, Jamumu, everything some. Or you can call me Lady Bougie.
And Gaga, thanks for honoring our invite today.
Thank you
going
for
to vibe.
Me. Yeah,
you know,
it's a whole mood with me.
I swear. A lot of time we meet on work level, but today let's vibe. Right. Tell us about yourself, how you became an activist, and you know,
wow,
you don't mind telling us about the number of orgasms you'll be having. Don't mind me.
That's just by the way.
All right. So let me quickly acknowledge our funders and our sponsors. I will come back to you. A big shout out to COC Netherlands for your support. Your funding support, technical support towards the LBQ community in Ghana and the larger LGBT community as a whole. Big ups to Save Heavens Global for all that you've been doing for us. And then, Focus One Boutique, thanks for, you know, making me look so dope and what, bougie. Alright, so after the show, I will give you guys the numbers in case you want to look classy. But forgive me, I don't feel too well, but I want to still learn and relearn from my dope Gigi Gaga Gogo. Alright, so today we are going to have fun, a lot of fun. Gaga, I want to, when you say Gaga, Gigi Gaga Gogo, or Yamumu, who is she?
That's a beautiful question, and thank you for asking me this question, because many a times people will just invite you to their show and they will introduce you per the bio or per the information. And so thank you once more. So my name, Gigi Gaga, came across when I started liking the name Lady Gaga, right? But I needed to be authentic. I needed to be me, right? And so I realized that with the kind of personality that I have, I needed to add a spice to it. So I want my name to be mentioned with happiness, fulfillment, and lightness. Yes.
I feel you.
Yeah, and for you to realize that I'm a whole mood, and with me nothing goes wrong, right? And so I came up with the name Gigi Gaga Gogo.
Yeah.
And so you can realize that at the mention of my name, all you have is smiles on your face. And then at the back of your mind, you're like, who is this woman?
So who are you?
Thank you for that question. So my biological name is Sarah Fletcher, and I am a beautiful queer activist. I am a self-passionate and self-oriented individual that believes in a vision, and then I work towards it. Right. And so that's a little bit I can tell you about myself.
That's nice. That's nice. I love the fact that you embrace yourself, and then, you know, a lot of times you ask people, who are you? And then they can't even compliment themselves and say, I am a handsome young man, or I'm a beautiful young lady. So I like that. You said you're a queer activist.
Right.
So what does activism mean to you? Like, and then what informed your activism?
Right. So I keep on saying different words mean different things to many people.
Exactly.
And so I'm going to explain activism to my point of view in my own ideology, right? So to me, when somebody asks me what is activism, I say that activism is an action using vigorous campaigning to change policies and social injustice, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what activism means to me. And one may ask, what influenced your activism, right? And so over the years, I realized that when I was growing up, I had a passion for speaking the truth. I had a passion for speaking out against things that are not right with me. And so as I grew up, I kept on asking myself, what profession would accommodate me? Because I know that I'm a radical person, and I know when something is right, I'm not going to stop speaking about it.
When you say you're a radical person, what does that mean?
It means that when I know the right thing, I will not stop talking about it till it's done right. Because I believe that for a human being to become radical, you really need to know a lot of things, learn, relearn, and unlearn. And as we are growing in the space, as the world keeps on revolving, I keep on learning, relearning, and unlearning. And so when I get to a space and I try to engage people and they refuse to learn, that is when my radicality will just come out, and then I will just point out your wrongs.
Yeah, I like it when a lot of times people want to unlearn and then relearn.
I like that too.
Because in Ghana, I would say majority of the homophobic persons don't want to unlearn, relearn, and then get to know people the way they should be known, right? Yeah. So when you come across people that are open-minded, and then it doesn't matter the level of their knowledge or intelligence, they still want to unlearn and then relearn new stuff, it's really cool.
Right.
Because it's really sad and then hard to vibe with or dialogue with someone that isn't ready to learn. Like, no matter how hard you try to explain to them that being gay is okay.
Right.
Some people are born gay, some people are born lesbian, so deal with it, and they still say nope. Right. It's really hard.
Right.
So I like the fact that even after being an activist and then being a queer activist and knowing the community, you are still open to unlearn stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So today we are just vibing.
Right.
I know at the end of this session, you learn from me, I also learn from you, and then I'll get to know you more. Yeah. Maybe some of the things that I might have, some misconception that I might have about queer activists, you might help me to unlearn it.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, but I just don't want to go too formal and then, make you look like it's a question and answer or anything. Have you faced any challenge like being an activist, not just an activist per se, but a queer activist?
Right.
Like when it comes to church, family, loved ones, your relationship, and all of that.
Wow, that question just got me reflecting on a lot of things that has happened to me.
Do you need a tissue?
No, I'm fine. Like, it got me thinking, right? Because I realized that when somebody is saying that I'm speaking for this issue or I'm speaking for this minority group of people, people tend to look at that person in a certain way.
Yeah.
But I am not here for you to accept me. I'm here for you to respect me and to know that my existence counts, right? And so when you say challenges, I can start from family, I can start from spaces that I've been, and I can start from even the activist community, right? And so I will start from family. So first of all, when I took on the job that I wanted to be a queer activist professionally, it just didn't go well with my family, but I needed to tell them that that is what I wanted to do, and so they either respect me or then we can go our separate ways. And then I took time to speak to my elder brother, my sister, and my family, and they realized that activism is what we do every day. For instance, when somebody is maltreating a child just because they are not your child and you speak, is activism, right? You are calling the person to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And so by educating them, I also embraced myself, and I also discovered myself in a brand new way. Yeah.
You know, thanks for this point. Like, you know, it never occurred to me that we practice activism or everyone is by one way or the other an activist.
Right.
Because you don't need to belong to a certain group of
Right.
people to speak for or to stand up for their rights. A lot of times when people find out that this person is a queer activist, then quickly we tag the person as gay,
Right.
or lesbian or bisexual or trans.
Right.
And then it really affects the community because it makes it really hard for us to get allies.
Right.
One,
Right.
it's also very hard for us to get closeted community members that are activists because
Right.
they don't want to be out there, and then
Right.
it is so okay for them.
Right.
So I want to know how you balance all these stigma and then, you know, name calling and all of that with your work.
Well, I have grown to psych my mind and to discover that my existence is not up to people to be validated, for people to validate, right? And so for you to grow emotionally to that standard, for you to realize that you are living for you and you are living in this body till you die, it all starts in the mind, right? How do I deal with name calling? You know, I started with my introduction in saying that I would either be in a space where I'm respected or I won't be there at all.
Yeah.
Why are you calling me names? Because sometimes the people that really call us names don't really understand why they call us names. Because society has normalized people shaming people just because they live differently.
Sure.
And so sometimes when you are in a space where people are trying to disrespect, or when people are disrespecting you, what I do is that I try to come down to your level and try to engage you and to understand why you are even calling me that name. Because the last time, you know, I appeared in a documentary where I spoke about corrective rape, right? And then I was in a space and somebody was saying, hey, this is this individual. And so I got closer to the person and I asked the person, why are you calling me this name? And I saw you in this video, and this video is talking about, I'm like, did you really take your time to listen to the content of the video? And this individual said no. And there I started to educate this person that corrective rape is something that just don't happen to the LBQ community, but I don't have any research backing it, so I won't mention statistics right now. So in a community, you will realize that 5 out of 3 girls are being molested. Right?
Yeah. Like the recent LBQT research that was done by Serious.
Right.
You realize that a lot of LBQT persons undergo corrective rape.
Right.
All in the name of trying to correct their sexual and gender identity,
and
which is sad.
And even to just women, because just because this certain group of women are not living up to societal expectations, people feel that they need to take it upon themselves to correct them. And that is one thing that I spoke about with using just the corrective rape. And so I made this person realize that by speaking about corrective rape, it was just not for a particular group of people, but I spoke on behalf of all women. And then this person began to change their ideology. And so that's how I've been able to deal with name calling. But really, who cares?
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. Like, but you know, it's also a challenge for people who really care, like people that are in the closet and then have passion for their job, but because they are being catered for by their family, or maybe they don't have the strength or are not ready yet to come out. This name calling and then shaming and threats makes them coil in their shell, and then a lot of time you keep seeing same old faces of activists. And I don't know if, do you have a huge number of women activists, like LBQ women activists?
So one thing that I would want to explain to people in this line of activism is that activism doesn't always have to mean that you are supposed to come to the front line, but activism can start from the space where you are, right? And so, like I said earlier on in my earlier submissions, that you can start with the next door neighbor, that is activism. You can start with the next person sitting beside you, that is activism. You can start with the person opposite you, in front of you, that is activism. Because we cannot have everybody be a frontliner. Because we obviously need people to also be on the grassroots, to also normalize the education and for growth and for change to happen. Remember, before change can happen, you need to start from a place, and you go to a place.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
I love
that. I want to know about your life. I don't know. Aside work, do you have any leisure? Like, is your life all about work, or, you know? Tell me, let's talk.
Well, I am a Christian.
I love that.
I am a Christian, I'm a spiritual person. That doesn't take the fun out of it. I have my fun, my dear. I have parties I go to, friends I go to. I try to carve time to do a lot of wellness and well-being for myself, like take care of myself, self-care. I practice that a lot. So in order for me to promote something, you know, sometimes accumulating information can be so draining, right? And so sometimes I just need carve that time for me to take care of myself. And so that is when I start promoting wellness and well-being in every space that I go. So what do I do for fun? I watch movies. If I don't have anything doing outside, it's not because I'm a queer activist, but genuinely I don't have anything doing. I stay in, I read a book, I watch movies, I call people to check in on them. I also have this friend that I call day in and day out for me to really vent out and for me to feel free, because sometimes you genuinely need somebody to talk to, and I live normally like everybody does.
Yeah, but I think sometimes too, it is important to have a lot of sex to, you know, distress. You can't keep on depressing yourself like that. So you should consider that as one of your leisure moments.
Thank you.
There was this time I was going through our YouTube channel, and then there was a comment on who a tomboy and a stud was. And the moment I saw that, I realized that there is the need to, you know, educate the LGBT community on the LGBT acronyms and all the other acronyms that exist in the community, so that people can be informed. And it's not everyone that can have the chance of coming to empowerment activities of various organizations, or even coming to meetings that community members do meet. So I think it is very important that you know, talk a bit about your work, your focus group, and then what are the things that you do, and then how people can reach out to you and all of that.
Thank you very much. So I work with an LBQ organization, that is a lesbian, bisexual, and queer and trans men organization. Our organization name is Courageous Sisters Ghana. On any other social media, Courageous Sisters Ghana. One of the things that we do is we do research and documentation, empowerment program. When we say empowerment program, one might say it is vague, but empowerment program captures a lot. It captures behavior change, it captures security trainings, it captures raising awareness, consent workshops, human rights. It covers vocational and even creating linkages with other LGBT organizations.
It's really important, because even with this project, one of the key things that we are doing is to creating linkages between community members and then activists and LGBT organizations. So a lot of times you see that, let me say 5-10 years back, some organizations that were coming, not only in Ghana but other countries, you could see there was some kind of competition and all of that, and then there was a focus that was lost.
Right.
Because if we are all working towards a particular goal, that is for us to be accepted and tolerated,
Right.
why they need to, compete.
Right.
So I like the fact that one of your work is to create linkages between organizations. I have a problem, I can't solve it, I reach out to this organization and then they help. So Ms. Gaga, before we go deep into your work, when you say someone is a lesbian or a bisexual, there could be someone watching, and then maybe there are a lot of myths out there.
Right.
So that someone doesn't reach out to you when the person isn't a lesbian or doesn't know. This is the platform. Educate those who don't have the opportunity to attend your programs.
So first of all, I want to tell the whole continent or everybody that wants to get in touch with us that the fact that our target population is lesbian, bisexual, and queer and trans men doesn't mean that we don't help other acronyms, right? Just get in touch with us, drop your message. What we do right now is we even offer peer counseling because we realize that over the years many people can't afford counseling, and even if they can afford it, there are, queer related issues are very specific, and you need an open-minded person or a queer person to really understand what you're going through, and that is one of the things that we are doing. And so it comes back to the question, when one identifies to be a lesbian, it means that that person is emotionally, sexually, psychologically attracted to, that means a female that is emotionally, psychologically attracted to another female, right? And when
it's not necessarily mean it shouldn't only be sexual.
Yes. Queer people are so wonderful and they are so beautiful that when you really get to go close to the community, you realize that you are just not respecting them, but you will get to discover yourself in various ways, right? Not just sexually, intellectually, morally, and emotionally, right? Because somebody can identify as a lesbian but will never have engaged sexually with a woman, right? That is how they identify, and that is valid to them.
Yeah. Of course. So that means that myth that says that anybody that sleeps with a female that sleeps with another female is a lesbian is wrong.
Yes, it's wrong. We have women that are just are sleeping with women and they don't identify as lesbian, right?
That's sexual characteristics.
Yes, right. And so that is why I always encourage people that so far as development is concerned, and we all have smartphones, instead of you echoing an insult or echoing discrimination or promoting hate speech, why don't you go to Google and learn some more?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why you should hate someone that you don't understand them.
Right.
Someone gets up and they say, I don't like gays. Like, they disgust me. But he asks them, have you come across one or two gays in your life? Do you have a friend that is gay that disgusts you? The answer is always no. So why? Because
society is promoting
this and that.
Right.
It's always based on what society thinks, but when you should ask them, have you had an encounter with a gay person? The surprising thing is sometimes people that they look up to, they really love, value, and then wish to be like them
are queer.
Could be queer, but they don't know.
That is why I always emphasize the fact that get to know the queer community, because by getting to know them, you get to discover yourself in various ways.
Exactly. And I always say that before you echo an amen, don't forget a child is listening.
Right.
Before you open your mouth to say any homophobic word just so people will like you. Don't forget that your pastor that you so much look up to could be gay and he's listening. Don't forget your doctor or even your mom or your dad is queer and then they are listening. So, you know, instead of wasting your time, as you said, hating on gays, why don't you spend that time? Read about the queer community. Get to know what LGBT means. Get to know, you know, our what you call it? Our sexuality is just like a percentage of 2 is even too much. A percentage of who we are. I believe you don't even remember the last time we had sexual intercourse. I don't even remember. And then who goes about talking about you? Heterosexuals don't do that. But you go on radio stations and then I'm coming to that. And then, yeah, so you know, I would love to talk and get to know you more and more because I said once for me. You know. So I want to know what you do, like you know, if you like music and all of that. Your favorite music, do you like to clap and all of that?
I love everything that loves me. And so like I said, I keep on discovering myself. I love music. I love counting money a lot. It puts me in a better mood.
Unfortunately, I don't have money for you to count. So one word to any queer person that is watching or any homophobic person.
So I want to tell all homophobians out there that it's time you put down the hate garment and it's time to assess yourself, understand people, learn, relearn, unlearn, accumulate people and accumulate information for your better good. And one word for queer people out there, you are loved, you are valid, you are bougie, beautiful, and there's nobody you are than you. So keep on being amazing, keep on being vibrant, keep on being productive, and anywhere you see me, remember, bougie.
Yeah. Miss Gaga, I just love you. Like, you are full of life and then I love it. Just keep it up.
Thank you.
So guys, it was nice having time with Gigi Gaga Gogo. I've learned a lot about her and her work. I hope you also did. And then I'm just praying that when next we need her to educate us more about the LBQT community, she would be available. If you've not subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe. Share so that your other friends can also be enlightened. Don't be selfish. And hey, I always say this, do not let anyone, I mean anyone born of a woman, infringe on your fundamental human right as a human being just because they perceive you to be LGBT. You are human. You are loved. Stay safe and be responsible.
Be bougie.
Big shout out to our sponsors. COC Netherlands. You do all. You are amazing. And then we thank you for all the support you keep giving the queer community. And we say, may God bless you. Guys, if you like entertainment, if you want to learn more about the LGBT community, if you are less informed, this is home. I mean, this is for us, by us, and with us. This is nobody talking for us. We are talking to our issues. We are empowering the community so that we can have a better Ghana. Thank you and stay blessed.